So Nancy Pelosi has somehow managed to make me dislike her even more. Here's her talking about the concept of getting rid of student loan debt, where she basically goes full-fledged Republican. Take a look at this.
That would be an attitude that people would have. But even take it on top of that, suppose your family was not, your child just decided they want to, at this time, not want to go to college, but you're paying taxes to forgive somebody else's obligations. You may not be happy about that. But you know what? We want all of our kids to reach their fulfillment. To the extent that they want to go to college, we do not want them to be prohibited from doing that for financial reasons. I've had high school students come in here and say with their grades, they're able to be accepted in the Ivy League here and there, but their family's economic situation does not enable that to happen because they have to stay close to home to work, to be part of the family situation. So what we'd like to do is have an economy that is fair, that gives opportunity, and does not hold anybody back because of financial reasons. And again, how some people may view the relieving people of this obligation has to be viewed in a fair way, where we have something that gives opportunity. That's the big word, opportunity, to all of America's families. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So that person that you just witnessed spewing that jargon, that individual right there, that was the person that our supposed leaders in Congress did not want to withhold their vote for, to extract any concessions, however many months it was ago, several months ago, when the whole forced to vote debacle was going on. That's the person right there. That's her right there, who just said all that bullshit, right? That directly contradicts what anyone on the left should believe in. So let's get into what she had to say. So she says, in response to canceling student loan debt, which is a crisis, one of the biggest crises that we face in this country, that is plaguing, 43 to 45 million people. That's the amount of people that hold $1.7 trillion of student loan debt. So she says, suppose your child just decided they, at this time, do not want to go to college, but you're paying taxes to forgive somebody else's obligations. You may not be happy about that. So what she's basically describing is a situation where a student goes to school, they go for a period of time, they rack up some student debt, they don't finish school, they drop out, but it's up to the taxpayers to pay off that debt. And she's saying that it's the student's obligation. It's your obligation. Now, let's get into that word obligation. Why is it an obligation to go into spiraling debt that you know you'll never be able to pay back in order to get an education, so that you can attain a degree, so that you can get a higher paying job? And if you know anything about today's day and age, you know that a bachelor's degree isn't even worth the paper it's printed on anymore. Okay? So the word obligation, I don't like that, because it's like, oh, you're obligated to pay this money back. And I love how she also goes on to say that some kids, you know, they have great grades and they can get accepted into these Ivy League schools or whatever the fuck she said, but economically, you know, they're struggling and their parents might not be able to pay for them to go to the school that they have the grades to get into. Okay, well then there the fuck you go. I mean, there you go. Get rid of student loan debt and let's make college free. Did you know that a strong majority of Americans actually support free college? They do. I think it's almost 60%. I don't think it's 60% just yet. Some polls might suggest that it's so. But it's almost like in the late 50s. I can't remember the exact number of Americans that support free college. But here she is saying that, oh, they wouldn't be happy about that. So you're telling me they're currently happy with their money going to fighter jets and bombs that are going to be dropped off in the Middle East to kill civilians, right? They're happy about that, because that's currently what's happening. That's where their tax dollars is currently going. Their tax dollars is currently going to endless war and to the rich. You know, as the recording of this video is going on, you are currently being robbed by the business class, because we as a country are refusing to tax them the amount of money that we should be taxing them. And we're constantly giving bailouts and more money to Wall Street and to these big businesses. Remember when COVID first happened and the economy crashed and instantly they went and bailed out the big corporations and CEOs? I mean, the Fed was pumping out $1 trillion a day, $1 trillion with a T, to give these people so that they wouldn't lose their shit. But then when it comes to you, you're just trying to get an education. You might be stifled with student loans. Oh, no, we can't help you. We can't let the taxpayers pay for your shit. And wouldn't you, as a citizen of this country, feel better if you knew that your taxes, the money that you pay for taxes, was going to something like healthcare, like a nationalized healthcare system, or college for the future labor force? Because that's who the fuck these people are. They're your future workers. You're literally plaguing your future labor force with so much debt. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And she goes on to say in this that Joe Biden doesn't have the power to get rid of student loan debt. Now, this is a line of attack that corporate Democrats will trot out all day and night. Now, I actually did a pretty detailed video, I would say, about this. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because I already made a video about this, but Joe Biden, with the stroke of a pen, he has the executive authority to get rid of student loan debt. More specifically through the Secretary of Education. That's an entirely different subject, but he can wipe out student loan debt. He can do it. Don't let anybody else tell you that he can't. And doing this would be like trickle up economics instead of trickle down economics. You know what they always do, give the money to the big CEOs and corporations. And it'll create so many jobs. The jobs never arrive. So get rid of the debt for the labor force, for the people that are at the bottom or somewhere in the middle. And then they will see prosperity because now they can get that house that they never could get because they had so much debt. Now they can afford that car, and it'll actually boost the economy. It'll have nothing but positive effects. But see, debt to these people is a form of control, okay? It's a form of subjugation to keep you in line, to make sure that you don't do as well as you can. I know it sounds bleak, but that's the reality of the situation, man. Whether it's student loan debt, mortgage debt, credit card debt, whatever the fuck it is. To put the icing on the cake here, Nancy Pelosi, she's 81 years old. The Speaker of the House is 81 years of age, and she's the one that's making the decisions for people like you and me. Her age alone, and this isn't ageism or anything like that, but her age alone signifies that she's incredibly out of touch. Back when she was the typical college student's age, college cost like 2 pennies and a stick. It's absolutely insane. And this is what she has to say. We need to have an economy that is fair, she says. Okay, an economy that would be fair would be not plaguing the future workforce, students, with hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt for simply pursuing an education. She says that it has to be viewed in a fair way. So she's trying to make the fair argument. Most Americans don't even agree with you, sweetheart. They do think it's fair to help their fellow Americans because they would actually feel fulfillment knowing that people are going to school and getting an education and becoming educated and then going on to become future doctors and lawyers that may help those people that are paying the taxes, right? That fund those sorts of things. So it's all a payback here. But she doesn't look at it that way. But she's incredibly corrupt anyway. Glenn Greenwald published a really good article about her and how her and her husband engage in really, really murky stock trading. I mean, I'll try to link it in the description box below if I don't forget. But it's a really neat article that truly outlines how corrupt she is and how evil she is. But this is the Speaker of the House sounding like a flat-out Republican.